Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to the showdown between the Tomb Kings led by Grandpa KHATEP and Norsca, who's going to be led by Surtha Ek. Actually, let's go ahead and check if he's Surtha Ek. He basically just has to be on his chariot, but it looks like he's not. It's actually going to be a Marauder Chieftain on foot. That kind of leads me on to my next point. When I first saw this army in the game, I was like, damn, how is his army so big? He has Familiar Warriors, he has Trolls. It looks like he does have a lot of units. But again, when I looked at his lord, it kind of answered my question. The Marauder Chieftain, when you strip him down just to the bare minimum, I think he costs like 1,000 or something. You can see basically the only ability he has is going to be fight or die. So I definitely like that for my opponent. Definitely cool, going very wide with Norsca, going very heavy on the monsters. But as far as my build goes, in the front line, a couple groups of Skeleton Warriors, which are going to be trying to hold the line. They won't hold for long, but, in their defense, they are unbreakable as well. And Grandpa KHATEP can give them some, blessing. What is that called? Phos protection or something like, not Phos protection. Damn it. What is it called? I'm getting old. Just turned 30. So Narrow's Incantation of Protection. So we're going to be buffing those guys up, trying to keep them, holding that front line in place and allowing our archers in the secondary line to do the heavy lifting. We have the Kepler Guard, another group of skeletons. On the flanks, we do have a couple of groups of more elite infantry, the Tomb Guards with halberds. And I do like these guys quite a bit against Norsca. Number one, their high melee defense will allow them to survive for a decent amount of time in the frontline engagement versus like Marauders and Berserkers. And on top of that, anti-large armor piercing against Familiar and Trolls, which you do see here. A lot of times Norscan players will bring Familiar Warriors with great weapons to take out the constructs. So I think having a couple halberds is definitely important. So if I need to, I can peel them in or use them to defend the flanks. We will see. So this is going to be something I normally don't do, but we're giving it a try today. We're going to be trying very heavy skeleton archer plays. We have 4 groups in total. I'm hoping that they can take out the Berserkers and the Trolls and really kind of generate value, but it's a little bit risky going this heavy because, again, Norsca has the ability to go very, very wide. And on top of that, they have really good harass units in the Hounds and stuff. So we'll see if I'm able to protect those guys. I think that's going to be a pretty big determining factor here. 2 of the Tomb Princes on horseback here, anti-large, armor piercing. They can cause terror with their Tomb Strike. These guys are absolute beasts in this matchup. We have 2 of those. Grandpa KHATEP, I also don't think he's the optimal pick here. If you really want to go like competitive tournament style, you probably just go with Arc in the Black or Cetra for his bonus first large. But, Grandpa KHATEP can do work. He's on his casket here, so he's going to be dropping some sick beats. And he does also have the Druid Sandstorm ability bound to him. So that's kind of cool against blobs of Norscan infantry. Some spears and 2 carrion. For my opponent, a very wide army. I really, really like his build. I think it's awesome. He does have Norscan Warhounds here. He does also have some Norscan Ice Wolves. On the far side, the same thing. So a ton of harass coming in. That's going to be really scary. Front line is all Marauders. Secondary line is Berserkers, which is definitely good, allowing these guys to take some of the punishment. 2 Familiar Warriors with great weapons, 2 Norscan Trolls, so just a standard variant going a little bit cheaper, but these guys are really good against constructs. When I play Greenskins, I always really like to bring Norscan, or not Norscan Trolls, but just Trolls in general to take out the Norscan constructs. A Champion and a Deathcaster, I think, with Spirit Leech, and what is that? Doom and Darkness? That wouldn't make sense. Oh, I guess, Doom and Darkness can be okay, because if units like close to crumbling, you can kind of get it there a little bit faster. I was kind of like, is that the terror ability? That would be very good against the undead here. But anyways, we're going to do a little bit of fast forwarding as there is some posturing. So you can see Grandpa KHATEP dropping some of his sick beats on these Marauders here on the far side, doing a little bit of damage. Looks like we popped those guys, and it looks like the impact actually knocked back a couple of those Trolls, which is pretty cool, but not like massive damage. What's cool about the casket is it does give him winds and magic buffs and stuff like that. So he's going to be a pretty potent caster. Over here, it looks like some harass coming in. You can see the Hounds. It looks like we have some Norscan Warhounds right here who are just sweeping around the flanks, and also some Norscan Ice Wolves lurking in the forest. So what I do here is I get my halberds to screen those guys out. I get the carrion. So the carrion, I'm like, okay, I can drag these guys into combat, and then from there, my Tomb Princes can chase them down. So one Tomb Prince is going to go fight these wolves. The other one is going to go attack these ones. And with the Tomb Strike giving terror, I think we should be okay. So we do get the Hounds right here. The carrion are sweeping in, and then the Tomb Prince is hot in pursuit. And carrion are pretty stalwart. They do have a 46 melee defense, which is pretty cool. But the Tomb Prince is in here now. Should be able to make pretty short work of these Norscan Hounds. And over here we have the same thing, but my opponent, pretty keen on that. He's able to dodge, and I think I might have gotten like 1. I wanted to try and terror route them and chase them off the battlefield, but alas, the wolves are slippery. The frontline engagement's almost underway, and at this point I was like kind of panicking a little bit. I was like, oh man, he's got so many troops. I don't know if my like meager skeleton front line here can hold, but we're going to do our best. Skeleton archers are going to be teeing in. You can see that Grandpa KHATEP, again, dropping those beats. And we do have the archers just kind of teeing off into these Berserkers. That's going to be some pretty good value there against these guys. They have like almost, I don't think they have any mitigation or missile resist. That's going to be pretty tough for them. But yeah, look at that. Really good damage against those Berserkers. So far the Skeletons paying for themselves. On the flanks, the Carrion plus the Tomb Princes are able to deal with the Wolves for the most part. Looks like these ones might be able to slip by. They are wavering with 14, 10, 11 leadership. We do get those Norscan Ice Wolves. And on the far side, my Carrion are chasing them as well. So some of the doggies are coming in here, so I saw them coming in. So I sprint the Skeletons past these Tomb Guard with halberds, and then the halberds will be peeling around to deal with them. So that should be an okay engagement for the most part. But DJ KHATEP dropping his Vortex here does some okay damage, and the Kepler Guard are doing a good job holding. You can see the Marauder Chieftain those here, and the Tomb Scorpion is also helping out against these guys, but it's gonna be pretty rough to hold these guys off. We are able to focus down the Trolls with some of our Skeletons, and they do get terrified as well from our archers. So far, so good. Our archer line is somewhat secure. We're able to kind of deal with the hounds in the back line, but there's still a massive horde of just angry barbarians at the gates here. And you can see the trolls are able to force path through with their high mass. So the skeleton spears and halberds will be going to intercept these guys, but the trolls are they're pretty aggressive and they're fast. So if they can get into my archers, that's going to be quite a bloody mess. In the back, the Tomb Prince is just making sure to chase off these hounds because, again, they still have a lot of models, so if they were able to get onto the proper targets, it could be quite ugly. And this 1-2 Prince is fighting the trolls, and Grandpa KHATEP is in the wrong neighborhood, and that's the problem with his Roomba, is that he's very slow on the Roomba, so he's like, I think he has like, he's like Gorst level speed, but at least he has range, so you don't have to be close. But unfortunately, the Norskins are pretty aggressive, and you can see that Grandpa KHATEP is just punting these berserkers with his Roomba here, doing a pretty good job. As the Norskins do advance, I pop the Norskins, not the Usirians, the Norskins incantation, no, the Usirians incantation of vengeance. I'm gonna be slowing those guys, but these skeleton archers are pretty much just screwed. They're in the wrong neighborhood. So I think I end up sending my halberds over there to try and save him, but it's looking pretty grim. So the battle was going pretty well initially, but now that, the Norskins have broken through the front lines, my secondary and auxiliary forces have come in. So the spears are kind of holding. My archers are falling back, and these ones have 75 models. These ones have 90 models as well. And these ones, yeah, I mean, the archers are all in pretty good shape with the exception of this one flank here. And the halberds and secondary troops have started to engage here, and you can see their high melee defense. Hopefully they can hold these berserkers off, but yeah, the Norskins are at the gates. The Tomb Scorpion could be a saving grace here, and you can also see the Ushapti summon going down. So all of a sudden the tides are kind of turning. The Norskins did kind of get through here, but the Ushapti summon plus the Tomb Scorpion and the very healthy halberds kind of staggering their advance here is going to be very powerful. And you can see these marauders are breaking. Some of these other berserkers here are starting to take some damage. Still confident, and unfortunately a lot of them are probably in range. But the archers have reformed ranks here. They're going to start shooting into the Norscan blob, hopefully able to pick off some berserkers, and it looks like they are going to turn about face here and take out these berserkers, which is going to be really nice. There's only 25 left. Standard marauders aren't too big of a threat, but the berserkers really do hit quite hard. Grandpa KHATEP has reformed as well. He's going to be dropping some hot bombs on these marauders. Over here, we do have the two Tomb Princes who've been a really good kind of guard retinue. They've been chasing off the hounds, and with the Tomb Strike, I really like it because they're able to, if there's like an annoying hound unit that has low leadership in your back line, if you activate Tomb Strike right when you engage them, it almost always terror routes them instantly, which is really nice. You can see we're able to buy some room for these skeleton archers who are going to come back online and hopefully generate some value. These skeleton archers right here, looks like they're pretty much done for, just getting whomped on by the clubs of these Famir with great weapons. Definitely a little bit of overkill here. On the far side, my carrion are just kind of, circling above the trolls, hoping, I think they actually broke. And I was trying to chase them off the battlefield with the carrion, but unfortunately they did rally, which means the carrion are probably going to get taken to town. Balance fire is very even. Grandpa KHATEP dropping a hot vortex, some sick beats right here on top of these marauders, and also shooting in, but a very bad situation. Some of these ice wolves did rally, and the Famir with great weapons. I think it's KHATEP on his pimp altar here is actually a large target. So the great weapon's doing massive damage. KHATEP is definitely not happy about this, but I do pull in the two Tomb Princes. If I'm not mistaken, I think the Tomb Princes do come to the rescue. Yeah, Tomb Prince here with the Tomb Strike is going to terror out all of these guys, including the Famir warriors with great weapons who are not immune to psychology. My carrion swoop in. So we are able to save Grandpa KHATEP. Looks like he's going to stabilize with about 900 HP, which is very risky, but a very good Spirit Leech for my opponent. Awesome stuff. He gets that right when KHATEP is kind of in the danger zone, and these Famir are going to turn around with the great weapons. It looks like maybe, oh, they're wavering. They're so low. Skeleton archers in the back are going to turn and provide some overwatch, and the Tomb Princes are just, they've had their hands full this game because I went super wide in the back line, which means I had a ton of stuff I had to defend, and yeah, they've definitely been doing some heavy lifting. So the Tomb Princes here are going to start fighting these Famir with great weapons with their anti-large and armor piercing. They should be able to get these guys, but the Norscan hordes continuing to push forward. You can see these trolls are just clubbing skeletons, which is pretty funny, throwing up on them. Always a good time. And yeah, the skeletons are probably at this point, I think I just was like, oh, well, we're not going to get away. Let's just turn and fight. Tomb Scorpion, a little bit in the wrong neighborhood as the bounce power does start to shift a little bit. The Tomb Scorpion just trying to get away from this blob. I was like, okay, if we could stabilize the back line, but unfortunately, Grandpa KHATEP, I think, did die to that Spirit Leech. He started to crumble. It's going to be a little bit tough, but the Tomb Princes are very, very, very strong, and they do have that anti-large. You can see they're just riding around and crushing these Norscan monsters here, which is really, really good. And the Tomb Scorpion getting hit with a Spirit Leech, but, still putting up a good fight here, routing some of these units with its hair, but down goes the mighty Tomb Scorpion. The Norscan hordes push forward the heirs of Sirtha Ek here, and you can see that the Marauder Chiefs, and I really like that pick for going wide. I thought that was pretty cool. But anyways, the Tomb Princes are basically just falling back right now, trying to kind of protect some of these archers, and there are some of these the Famir with great weapons coming in, so I was like, okay, maybe I could get a really lucky terror route, because I do have the two Tomb Strikes here, so maybe if I can time some sort of an Alpha Strike on this blob, I can get like a mass terror routing, but that's pretty much my only chance here. So the Tomb Princes coming in, taking out a couple of those Famir warriors with great weapons. It looks like they're wavering. They may actually break. These skeletons are offline. Over here, we're able to secure a bit of a pocket, so my archers were able to, pick off these marauders. the help of some of these Carrion who actually swooped in. So the Carrion have been really useful as well. And I think the biggest issue this game, though, was going so wide with archers. I think just like 2 groups and then more protection, more infantry, maybe a couple more constructs would have been pretty good. It was just way too much. I mean, Ushabti with great bows, I think, would have just been explicitly better, but it was definitely fun to kind of experiment with those. So the Tomb Princes are going to be bro charging in right now. There is a little bit of an isolated pocket here. Bounce of Power is now very heavily in the favor of Norsca, as it's just like an inexorable tide of just berserkers and trolls. Just look at them shambling across the desert. These guys, they're out for blood. But anyways, the 2 Tomb Princes now are going to be fighting the berserkers and some of these trolls, and it looks like the Overwatch fire from some of these skeleton archers doing a pretty good job against the Norscan trolls. But at this point, it's looking a little bit grim. You can see that the Tomb Princes are able to get the trolls and the berserkers, definitely doing really very well, but really there's just too many Norscan troops left as they do advance and surround these Tomb Princes. The curses are going to be going down, but you can see there's just karate kicks and clubs and all kinds of stuff coming in from these guys, and that is going to be all she wrote. So very well played. It was definitely a lot of fun. It's an experimental build, and I really don't think that many archers is feasible. I mean, maybe it could be. I'm trying to think how I could contour that build a little bit. Firstly, I would probably get rid of KHATEP, and if you want to go with a very archer-heavy build, I think you would just go with Arkan, because, for example, if part of your formation gets flanked or compromised, Arkan can summon a horde of like 150 skeletons with his staff, or whatever, the Tomb Blade of Arkan. So that's very helpful for kind of plugging up flanks. The Carrion and the Tomb Scorpion, I don't know, the Tomb Scorpion did pretty good, but if you do cut that, you could get like 2 more decent infantry groups. So I don't know, there was just too much to protect, and I didn't have the resources to kind of both protect my back line. I did protect my back line effectively, but at the cost of my front line. The front line then wasn't supported by the Tomb Princes. Like, had the Tomb Princes been in the front fighting the trolls and the great weapons with their anti-large and supporting my infantry with Tomb Strike and stuff, that could have been different, but I didn't have the resources to protect everything. My opponent did a really good job of just going super wide with the Chieftain and some of these berserkers and stuff. So it was a really cool build for sure. So yeah, I would probably go with like Ark in the Black if I were to try something like this. Maybe cut 2 of the skeleton archers and get some more like constructs or some other stuff like that. But anyways, very well played to my opponent, 5-inch Bale Rider. Look forward to running into you again on ladder, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this Tomb King vs Norsca game. Have an excellent night, guys, and take care.